Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. How is everyone doing today? I hope we're doing great. Yes. Yeah, you're highly welcome again. I really appreciate every one of you that do come back to watch my videos. And as for those people that are just seeing me for the first time, thank you. You're highly welcome. Please do me well by subscribing, clicking on the red sign, and also on the bell notification. Yes, so today in today's video, actually, we are going to be talking about the reason why people do not relocate to Europe. And when I mean Europe, I actually mean France. That's where we're going to be talking about. I know, don't get me wrong, a lot of people do relocate to the EU, and mostly to Germany, to Netherlands, to Finland, to Norway, to Sweden, and the rest of it. But, and I'm not saying people do not relocate to France, but what I want to know is this Japa trend that is trending in Nigeria. Why is it that a lot of people, you don't find people relocating to Japa into EU countries? What do you guys think could have been the reason why people do not come over to this, this part of the world, as in Europe, to do their schooling and the West, just like they do to places like Canada, America, UK? You guys know now how what's going on in the country, in the I said country, in the world now, how people are just Japan, especially Africans, Nigerians, Japan to the UK. Why are people not doing the same thing, rushing over to this place to school? And it amazes me that this place is, especially France. I'm talking about France today because this is where I stay for now. I actually stay in Germany and France, but for right now I'm in France, so that's why I'm talking about it. A lot of people that do come to this part of the world, to France, you don't find them. I'm not saying again that people don't come here to school, but you don't find it as much as people going to the UK, Canada, America, and to school, just like they do in those places. They don't do it. You don't see people coming. Oh, I'm coming to France to school. Is it because of the language barrier? I know Nigerians are always afraid to learn. Um, Language is one of the biggest barrier concerning you relocating to places like France, especially Nigerians. We don't have time to start learning languages. I know that's one of the biggest. I'm not saying, I'm gonna keep saying I am not saying. Do you understand? So people do not get me wrong on this one. A lot of people, of course, some people can catch up with languages, and it's fine for those people, well and good for those people that can catch up. Some Nigerians that can catch up with language, but I know deep down in me, I know mostly, and a lot of you know that language has been the biggest barrier why a lot of people do not travel to these European countries. Despite the fact that, okay, like Germany, a lot of people go to Germany, even if they don't get the direct visa to go to Germany, they still find a way to, cross over to Germany. Either they use through those that are coming through the sea, they're coming through the sea, those that are coming, that are still getting visas for other European countries, and then they find their way finally into Germany. They do it a lot. I find out that a lot of people, okay, people do come to France, but they come as tourists, or they come as coming to seek asylum. Do you understand? But can you never can say a lot of people do come here to school. Why is everybody running to Canada, America, and UK? That's why we're having this discussion now. Why is it that they're not coming here to school? I often say this in my videos that the language is a big problem. And that's the same similar situation that I'm in right now. That if you ask me, I can categorically tell you that I will not even for once advise anybody that wants to, that wants to Japan, that wants to leave Nigeria, to come to the European countries. Except within you that you are the type that can learn languages, because language is going to be one of the most difficult difficult barrier, difficult hurdles that you have to cross. You cannot move forward in Europe. I often tell people that are still in Nigeria my friends that are still in Nigeria, people that I know that are still, I try to advise people that don't come to Europe. Do not come to Europe if you're not ready to learn language, especially if you're the type that cannot learn language. Because if I had known, I for one, I wouldn't have come to Europe. If I knew that this is how it's going to be. Because sometimes, of course, I thank God for where I am right now. You understand? I'm not going to complain. I'm not complaining. But sometimes again, you just have to look at it and say, okay, look at where I am right now, and look at where my mates that left. I know it's not a good thing for you to start comparing yourself with other people. Do you understand? But sometimes that urge to do that always, comes into your mind, and then you start comparing. If I'd been in an English speaking country, I know what I would have achieved, rather than being in these European countries. Language is a very big barrier, like I said. In English speaking countries, you would have gone very, very far. If it's school that you want to go to, if it's working, you'd have known how much you've saved, you would have known the kind of jobs, you would have, done something good in your life. Maybe, start paying for mortgages to get a house. If you're working, if you've saved enough money, if there are lots of things that you could do when you are in an English speaking country, rather than being in in this countries like France. Do you understand? At least Germany even has opportunities more than in France, because why? Germany, they pay well. When you stay in Germany, you get paid. The money they pay for people that are working in Germany is much more than what they pay, to people that are working in France. You cannot compare. Do you understand? Of course, Germany is, according to research, Germany is more richer than France, so everything works well for them. You understand? But again, the language barrier. But in France, there are no jobs in France. I can tell you, there are no jobs in France except you go to the big cities like Paris, Marseille, Lyon, those big cities. Those are the places that you could easily get jobs if you want. But in Germany, there's jobs everywhere. That's the difference between Germany and France in this case. If as much as the language is still a barrier, people still prefer to go to Germany. Do you understand? But it is still a major barrier. As people are just living Nigeria, they still do not want to come to this place. If you want to start making a what is it called, statistics of people, meet people on the road, or meet random people and start asking them where would they like to go to, you find that the majority of people are telling you they want to go to Canada, USA, America, UK. Of course, some people would say they want to go to Germany, Finland, and Sweden. Why is it so? Have we sat down to think about why everybody wants to go to those places? Even those that are still here. For me, I know definitely at the end of the day, I'm still going to relocate, because this language is showing me shege. So definitely one day I know I'm still going to leave this European country and move to Canada. If it's not Canada, I move to UK or Canada. I know one of those places are going to be my country at last. So why are people not coming to these places? That's just one major thing that I found out. Even you find out that a lot of people that have got people that stayed in these European countries, and at the end of the day they get their passport, you always find them relocating. As soon as they get their passports, their hand touches their citizenship. Do you understand? They just move. They move to Canada, US, or UK. They move. So that's to tell you that the language is still dealing with them. And most of these people that do relocate, of course, some of them must have gotten kids and all of that stuff. Of course, the kids, they know how to speak the language of that particular country, European country that they are living. But them themselves, they're having big challenges. That's why they are relocating. And I feel that these English-speaking countries, they have more opportunities than these European countries, aside Germany. Those are the countries I'm going to talk talk for, Germany, because I've been there and I've seen what is going on in Germany. So I cannot talk for Sweden or Norway, or you understand. But I know I still, I look at people's videos, and I look at sometimes on internet in research, and I still find that those places like Norway, Sweden, Finland are still better than France when it comes to life, jobs, and all of that stuff. So that's one of the basic things that I wanted to talk about. Do you understand? You wouldn't want to live in this kind of environment where you cannot communicate, and communication is a very big wahala for you, a big, very big, major problem for you. Do you understand? Even though you're getting okay, especially when you have your documents, you are free, to do whatever you want. I'm not saying go against the law of the land, but you are free. You're not free to travel and do all of that stuff. But then again, do you guys know that it's difficult for me to get a job now just because I cannot speak the language? They keep sending you to school. Of course, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that they're sending you to school to learn the language, but imagine if you were in an English speaking country, how far you would have gone. Who cares about language? Because they don't speak language in those countries. You just move ahead. That's why our brothers and sisters, I mean our Nigerian brothers and sisters that live in Europe, especially in France, Germany, and all of that other countries, I know that once they get their documents like this, as in they get their passport, they just move ahead. They move to these English speaking countries. And do you know that when you have kids in Europe, you wouldn't even like the way they speak their English, because you just feel that they came from Africa, or they were born in Africa, because it doesn't make your kids speak. These European countries don't make your kids speak good English. Like when you hear an American kid speaking, or when you hear a British kid speaking, or when you hear a kid from Canada speaking. Do you understand? I really don't like, I shouldn't use the word envy, as in I really don't see anything special with kids that were born in this side of the world, as in these European countries, because the first thing they learn is the language. These kids have to learn the language of this country. So I think it interferes with the way they normally would speak their their English if they were in Britain or in America or in Canada, if you guys know what I mean. So I always like listening to kids kids that were brought up, or they were born in UK, Canada, America, and all of that. Do you understand? But not kids here, because kids here in Europe, they just speak normal English like they live in Africa, and that's what I don't like. And I'm just happy with the fact that most Nigerians, especially those that the language is difficult for them to speak, do you understand? Once they get their passport, they leave. They always, most like 70% of Nigerians that usually get their passport, their citizenship, they leave Europe. And just like I said in the beginning, that's something I'm looking forward to doing by the time I get my citizenship. Do you understand? I'm still looking at it. I'm still considering it, that I'm going to live here, because just like I said, why am I staying here when I cannot speak the language? Do you understand? So I just know that Europe is not meant for me. So I think that's the same thing that a lot of people are thinking, especially the language is a very big barrier for a lot of Africans, a lot of Nigerians. So that's why they would, I for one would think that that's one of the major reasons why Africans, Nigerians especially, don't like coming over this place to come and school and then staying, or those people that are coming, most of the people here are just coming because of economical reasons. You understand? But people that really want to study, of course they really want to study in language, because that wasn't that wasn't how they were taught in back then in Nigeria. So they would just prefer to go to these English speaking countries. I don't know, that's just my own thought about the whole thing. So if you guys have a different view of this topic, please do me well by just commenting down at the comment section. Let's interact, and thank you for watching if you stayed up to this time, and I'll definitely see you all on the next one. Okay, do have a wonderful evening. Bye all. Bye.